Let's see if everything's working. I think so. Hello, everybody. Pc F1, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Pc F1. France. That's the one. Yeah. I'm good. I'm not with it today. I do apologize. Hello, everybody. We are Pc F1 France. Hopefully, going to be a pretty funky and cool race.
Hopefully, no one dies at turn 2.
Vietnam flashbacks. Today, no Dino, unfortunately. But you have to put up with my silliness. My name's Ryan. I am joined by the one and only Adam. How are you doing today?
I'm alright. Still recovering from yesterday's shit show.
PG friendly stream, bro. PG friendly stream.
Yeah. Bollocks. PC1 never is. You should know this. I'm here.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. So
the racing's definitely not PG. So.
Yeah. So why should we? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I'm going to apologize in advance. I haven't had enough time to like change everyone's names and whatnot, so might look a bit messy, but should all be fine. Quite sure I'll be able to work out who.
Everyone, so I'm just gonna yell names. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna yell names, and I'm gonna be like, "Where are they?" You'll be like, "There," and I'm like, "That's who that is." Brilliant.
Wait, where? When?
Yeah, wait, where? Not gonna lie, I joined this lobby and got minor PTSD from a certain Aston Martin driver from last season.
Yes.
I believe currently P2 in the championship.
It almost works like that in PC1, apart from
it's not Tuca, it's Drake.
Tuca is like you.
Everyone else, yeah. Tuca, feel my pain.
Yeah, pretty much. The fact that he's PC2 champion though, and he's making half of PC1 look stupid.
Looks stupid, yeah. He was absolutely rapid last season, and proving that he's still rapid just in the wake of, in my opinion, a future esports driver. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like I was looking through time trials earlier. I mean, some of these guys are running sort of mid-28s and stuff. Like, yeah, my lap's pretty good. I could maybe find some time. And Drake's just like, yeah, 25. I think there's like a 10th in my lap, but I'm faster than some esports drivers. So you know,
yeah,
like
he's just sitting there on like a 26, and it's like, oh, brilliant.
He's got a 20. I think he's got a 27.8 or something.
Oh, that's disgusting.
But, like, directly below him in the. I actually put this up as a picture. Let me find it. Directly below him on the time trials is. Because I put this up yesterday, I was like, yeah, good luck, guys. There it is. Directly below him on the time trials is Simon Weigang.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, Drake has a 27.817, Simon Weigang, who is a professional esports driver and gets paid to play the game, as a 27.822.
It's basically a case in 2 years expect to see Drake Dempsey in like an esports seat, in my opinion. He is rapid beyond all doubt. And yeah, I genuinely expect him to see him in an esports shirt one day. Other than that,
probably, but yes.
Yeah. As long as
he doesn't drive for Red Bull, I'll still cheer for him.
Still salty, I hear.
No, I just don't like the team. I never have.
Fair enough. I mean, I like them I
can't stick Marco or Horner. I can't stand either of them.
I liked it when it was like Webber and Coulthard and like the early days of Red Bull, where they I think they took over Jaguar, if my memory serves.
Yes.
I liked it like in the early days.
Who did they have? They had Mark Webber and Chris Klein, Jaguar.
They had Coulthard and Klein, and then before Coulthard retired,
Webber and Klein. Then
I thought Coulthard and Klein.
DC to replace Klein.
Oh, that was it. And then it was Webber, and then it was like my two favorite drivers on the grid at that stage. Yeah, because I loved Webber and Coulthard.
Yeah, then it was driver's retirement home.
And then then it became a retirement home, and then it became the Sebastian area, where it was Sebastian Bourdais and Vettel.
Multi 21, Sib. Multi 21.
Yeah.
Well, they only managed the season.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Anyway, just loading into the lobby for the start of qualifying. It is a short qualifying for PCF1 as always, so 18 minutes around the tarmac of France, followed by a 50% race.
Le Castellet.
Le Castor, more runoff area than is required.
It's exactly as much runoff area as is required.
Genuinely,
we did have a guy in a wall yesterday.
For like April Fools, we should do a no rules France race and stream it.
God,
it would be great. It is wet. It's a wet quali. Let's go.
Oh my God,
it is very wet.
Looking at puddles in pit lane, this is full wets.
This is full wet conditions.
Well,
let's go.
On a track that's already got some
Drake's retired. Man's doing a
Drake's
0.
Not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, Drake's like, wet, I'm alright.
Yeah. Drake does not enjoy the moistness.
He does not, it seems.
So everyone's currently hiding in the pits, probably having a little cry.
They're probably like, why?
So we'll have to see who's first on track and watch their attempt to row their way around a flying lap.
Oh, there are people out. Bellini is out. I think he is the first driver.
Yes, our Williams driver promoted last week from PC3 had some wheel issues last week.
Oh,
different wheel issues to what I'm sure he was used to in PC3, where the issue is mostly people don't know how to turn their wheel. Where his just stopped working on the formation lap. So he'll be hoping for a better race this week, where he actually gets to participate in the race.
There is a reason why I love commentating PCF, and it's because it is carnage. It's absolute carnage.
Oh, we always knew it was going to be. As soon as we basically said, yeah, we're having PC3 this season because we've got like 62 signups. We always knew it was going to be a bit chaos in there. Not necessarily because, I mean, they are sort of pace differentiated tiers. So the fastest guys end up in PC1, and then the next guys in PC2, and the slower guys are in PC3, just so everyone gets to race against people at similar pace. But it tends to be the slower guys are the less experienced guys, and when you're not used to racing with people, that's how you end up with people in walls, because you just go, oh, well, I just turned in because there was an apex there. There was 2 cars inside you, but yes,
like,
there was an apex there, that's correct.
Yeah, well done for spotting the apex, but not the 2 drivers that are next to you.
Yeah. So yeah, Paolo just making his way around Dubuisseau on his outlap now, which Dino christened last year as a croissant.
A croissant.
So I think we might just keep calling it croissant.
But if you wouldn't mind, just when he starts his lap, just go through the track, because I haven't got a track map up.
Yeah. Absolutely no problem. So he comes into the last corner, which is one of the tricky attraction zones on the track. It's hard to sort of maximize through there, and you can see just how wet it is as the back end steps out as he tries to get a bit of power down the main straight. Just got Freddie Ellis coming out of the pits there as he gets hard on the brakes, tries not to cut the inside here in Leverrier. Turn 1 and 2, easy to lose the car through turn 2 as Quill's had a moment through turn 12 and has DNF'd the car. Down to the aptly named chicane, which I'm not kidding. As Paolo now comes through, gets onto probably the slowest corner on the track, through Sanborn, and manages the power. Normally you want to take this with as much power as you can, but obviously in the way that's a lot more difficult. Yeah, as he invalidates the lap, unfortunately trying to cut too much of Le Code and getting onto the Mistral straight, so he is going to back out of this.
I think the car behind him is Andrew
Terezov.
Yes.
So we'll go on board with Terezov as he comes into the Mahana chicane. We actually had 4 wide here last year in PC1.
One of my favourite
between
chicanes.
Me, Dino, and both McLarens, which is pretty good. The second part of the Mistral straight and down into Sinus here, which is flat out. Normally.
If you're ballsy.
Yeah, just about flat out in the wet. And into Dubuisseau, double apex right-hander, or croissant.
Really satisfying.
You want to run the car quite, want to run the car quite wide there to carry as much speed as possible. Into De Bendor, turn 12, where we'll probably see some guys around. We've already seen Quill put it in a wall there. So we'll probably see some problems in the race. There tends to be a few spins there because it's off camber. Through Latour and into Dupont, the last corner. Get as much power down as you can. All of these guys here, of course, no traction control allowed in PCF1. They've got to manage that rear tyre screaming themselves, as Andrew does a 43.5, which I have no idea if that's
if that's
or
good
not
or
around
not
wet France.
in wet.
So
yeah.
I mean, it could be pole by a minute. It could be last by like 10 seconds.
Yeah, we don't know.
No idea.
Just on board with Tuca Ricola at the moment. Doesn't go purple in the middle sector, but gonna. As he's nearly lost it, kept it well. To be fair to him. That's a 42.8
back
by
Camel Strusik. Yeah, there's a 42.8 for McLaren. George Power with a 45.4 for Haas.
I think we're going to see a lot of varying times as people try and find the grip in these wet conditions.
Going to be a lot of tiptoeing around. A lot of how much power can I put down here? No, not that much.
Jonathan just putting a 43.5.
Yeah. Also a 43.5.
As Ricola.
Some more 43.5s coming in. From
the 43.5 looks like 43s look like the times that people are looking at. Tuca just coming across the line for a 43.1. Nice lap from the Aston Martin driver. Probably going to go to if it's full
champion
wet,
from last year.
If it's going to be wet conditions, he's probably just going to do it all on wets, even if it goes to intermediates because he's a lunatic. Marvin Murr going provisional pole for a 42.6. Very nice lap from the Alfa Romeo there. I'm just going to skip over the two Haas drivers because PTSD. No. Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas put in a 44.0.
Dead.
So he's, in the sort of ballpark. He's already 2 tenths up on this next lap through sector 1, but oh my god. but literally sideways through the goal. Full 90-degree four-wheel drift.
Just on board with the other Aston Martin of Martin Horak, I believe his name is.
Yes.
Coming down the first of the two main straights of France. Coming up to one of my favourite chicanes, actually, because I love how much you can take on the curb, but if you take too much, you're ruined. I love how precise this corner is to an extent.
Yeah, you can basically cut all of it, but if you cut too much of it, which I don't know how you manage to do when cutting all of it's fine.
Yeah,
it will murder you horribly, which is the best kind of corner, I guess. It's a little bit like a Pouan at Spa in that regard, where you want to cut it as tight as possible, but if you cut it slightly too tight, you're in a wall.
Yeah.
Which is good because it's finding that little balance, but it does make it a bit of a wheel OP corner because you can't be that precise on a pad as Martin goes off the track on the exit of Debussy, which is already a sort of tricky traction zone in order to maximize. It's not too hard to get the corner right and just roll it around, but when you're pushing in quali, it is easy for the car to step on you. And obviously when it's wet, it makes it significantly harder.
Yeah, as we've just seen,
Jonathan's done a 42.6 as well, so he's gone just half a tenth behind Marvin at the front.
Yeah, 42s look like the faster times at the moment. The 43s look more like the middle of the pack sort of drivers. Apart from obviously the obvious of Drake Dempsey, I haven't really been 100% keeping up with PC F1 myself. Who are the drivers to look out for?
Drake and probably whoever's trying to fight Drake. So, the group behind tends to include Ian Bilbas, the AlphaTauri, Jonathan Foss, his teammate. AlphaTauri having a really good season in the constructors, along with Tuca and Mercedes driver Marek Znamarovsky.
Almost like another set of AlphaTauri drivers doing really well in the constructors.
Are AlphaTauri really good in Pc F3? I haven't really been following it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I can't remember.
Camel does a 41.9.
41.9.
So I wonder if the track's getting a bit drier. It doesn't look like it, but we know the game lies in that respect. As Martin actually validates his lap on the second part of the Mr. Right, just got a little bit too trigger happy with the loud pedal coming out of Mahannes, and the car decided it liked the look of a wall. So in catching it, he unfortunately invalidated the lap, although he was about 3 or 4 tenths up, so that would have given him a couple of places on the starting grid as it stands. But if it's getting drier, all these times are going to be pretty.
Oh, Struchik is gone.
Intermediates. Oh.
There is, I believe, no front wing on that McLaren, as I think it's coming out of the sweeping left-hander.
Yeah, through the coal. So, but he's kept all 4 wheels attached to the car and pointing the right way. And Mateusz Jelenecker's DNF'd. I'm not sure if he's binned it or if he's just decided that he doesn't want to drive.
Conditions aren't the one. Just going to be on board with PC F2 commentator Luke Mills goes purple second sector. Okay, here he comes.
Wheel OP.
Wheel OP. Wheel OP.
Time set as well. The timing bug normally will give you a purple sector 2 when you don't have a time set.
Ah, that is very. No, he does have a time set.
He does have a time on the board, so that might actually be a purple sector 2.
So we're just going to keep on board with the Alpine. Martin,
yeah, Matt Horrocks DNF'd. He's lost it in Lecole as well.
Lecole
so
looking like
that's where people are having problems.
Especially in wet
trying
conditions.
To just carry too much speed through the end of Sam Byrne. And
I find that corner to be an ass in the first place. So
yeah, a little bit.
As Luke Mills. Maybe a bit slow at the final corner, but a 43.2 goes P7. Nice lap from Luke Mills. Obviously, still trying to get used to no ABS and a new way of driving with the wheel and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the wheel.
Yeah, so but doing very well.
The change to not running ABS is something that you could probably get down in, I don't know, a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Unless you've got creaky old hands like me, in which case, a couple of years, you know. Maybe. But the transition from pad to wheel is obviously it completely changes the way you play the game. So it's something where he's gradually rocking it up. Yeah, he's happy with his time trial this week, so
he might be a track he's confident with.
Yeah, I don't think it's a track where the wheel versus the pad makes too much of a difference because there aren't tight corners and heavy braking zones. So it might be a little bit easier for him to sort of make that transition. Compared to sort of twiddly fiddly bits.
Just on board with his teammate Nathan Powers. With there may be a bug. The bug might have kicked in, but purple sector 1.
Ooh. Luke's lost it to Sinius, which is
so is Nathan Powers.
We're just not going to ignore him because every time I go on board with him, he spins.
Yeah. So Nathan Powers coming down the first part of the straight, coming into one of my favorite chicanes. Hammerhead, isn't it?
Hannes.
Oh, I'm going to call it Hammerhead because it literally reminds me of the Hammerhead.
Yeah.
No, it reminds me of the Hammerhead chicane in Top Gear. So I'm going to call it that. Comes flying down the second part into the long right-hander. Pretty satisfying to watch cars go through. I can't wait to watch the new 2022 cars go through there. It looks going to like the change in weight.
The whole track's going to be flat. It's the whole season is just going to be the meme of George Russell going flat through here,
flat through here, flat through here.
At every corner. It's like driving around Monaco, get to part A, and he's like, flat through here. Like, wait, what?
go down to the, what's the, is it Portier the really big hairpin, isn't it? Right down there.
No, that's the Lowe's hairpin.
Yeah, go to the Lowe's hairpin, flat through here.
I had a race with some friends, and there's only about 7 of us, so we have AI on the track as well. And one of the AI flipped me going into there, so that was
good.
So hopefully we don't see that today. But you never know, because welcome to PC F1.
Just on board with Padraig O'Ducal. Purple sector 1. A lot of people getting purple sector 1s, but he's the only one on like an actual push lap at the moment. So on board with the Williams.
So I wonder if it is drying a little, especially in sector 1, so you can just push harder through turns 1 and 2, because it's where most of the time differential in sector 1 is. Or if people are just getting more aggressive with track limits going into chicane.
Very true.
A dumb name for a corner, sorry.
Chicane. I will say, I don't know about you, but it doesn't look as heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if we're quite at inters yet, because there's still some puddles lying around in sector 3 especially. But we might get there if someone wants to be brave.
People are putting on the intermediate tyres.
So yeah, so essentially then, with people going inters, all of these lap times are completely useless. And I would expect Padraig to pit, and we're effectively going to have one-shot quali.
One-shot quali onto the intermediates, yeah.
On inters, which is going to be risky.
Or some people just don't
want
to risk their time or lap or something.
Padraig's carrying on, so I don't think with the sort of crossover period in the pits and the fact that it is a slow pit lane here at France, I don't think he's going to have time to get back in and put some new boots on.
Just P4 with a 42.7.
42.7.
7 tenths
up. Pretty good.
I think he's just going to do another push lap. He's got 40% ERS. I think you can do that around here with
Yeah.
with that.
Tuca's on an outlap on wets.
Okay,
so you were right. He is nuts.
He is, yeah, he's always been nuts though. Oh, he's gone back in.
Luke Mills, okay, but Luke Mills, Andrew Tarasov, Jonathan Foss, and Marvin Moore are all on outlaps on the intermediate tyres.
So yeah, Frederick Ellis is on a push lap on the inters. Let's see what his sector 1 split is going to be. Keeping it on the curb there nicely, being able to gain as much time as possible.
3/10 up.
3/10 up on the intermediate, so it might be that they are slightly bit faster, bit wiggly on exit.
If you can control it, yeah. So he comes through the call. I don't expect him to gain too much time really through sector 2. The only sort of traction zone is coming out of the Mahana chicane.
Yep. So let's see what the
there's
split
possibly
will
going to be a little bit of time there with inters over wets, with the extra traction that they give you.
That's
but
the corner quite
not
nice.
a huge thing, but most of the time I think these guys are going to find if they can control the car is going to be
5/10 up.
So yeah, so he's gained sort of 1/10 and a half, 2/10 in that middle sector.
So we probably are looking at intermediate tires. I think for Drake probably kicking himself a little bit, not going onto them. But depending on what the race is like, this is mediums for the front runners galore. I think you always go mediums.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every single person here is going to be able to do that one stop.
One stop, so you
and
start
then
on
it just
mediums
depends
or
on
hards.
their tire management, whether they go medium soft, medium hard, or hard soft.
My opinion is the best strat is medium soft if you can keep the tires.
It's all about if you can keep them alive, which depends a lot on your driving style and your setup.
Frederick
And
just
remember,
about to
these
come
guys
across the
have
line
no
with
traction control and no ABS, so
42
42.0,
flat.
still not faster than Camille.
Camille
has started another lap. He just invalidated one.
Okay, let's see who's going to come across the line
sector 1.
I believe it is
that back straight.
The Alfa Romeo of Marvin Murr on an intermediate run.
Yeah, Camille's just starting a new lap on wets, so he's happy with his tyres. He's not going to the intermediates.
Marvin Murr is actually going to be ridiculously slow, so he's probably just going to do another push lap.
Yeah, I think he's probably made an error somewhere, backed it off, and he's going to go again.
So behind him is Jonathan Foss with looking quite quick, but might not be able to beat the top time. Oh no, he does. Goes pole position.
Yeah, 6/10 he gains in sector 3 alone, and does a 41.7.
Nice lap from the
sitting
Alpha
at the top, but I think this might come down to whoever's on track last. The rain seems very light right now.
Luke Mills goes P4, goes an entire second, 1.1 seconds.
42.1 from Luke.
Doing well. Doing very well as a Haas, I believe, is coming round.
Just coming round now to start his lap. George Parr.
There's a McLaren
had to bail
behind
off
him.
the track completely at turn 12, and it's got yellow flags up, so I'm not sure how well left in the section.
Strusiek will go pole with a 141.1. Very nice lap from the McLaren there. 6/10 faster than Jonathan Foss. Maybe just more comfortable in the...
Never
Ignore
mind.
me, Nathan Powers, hello!
You got a slipstream from Tuca down
as well.
that home straight, as Tuca was just starting his lap, so that's going to have given him maybe half a tenth or so down there, which is going to be good for him. Marek's just behind Tuca, just starting his lap as well, as the flag hits 0, so every lap that gets finished now is going to be that person's final lap.
Going to be on board with Tuca.
Coming up to the line first. He's about 3 tenths up. But it's just a 45.5, unfortunately, for Kamil Krzyzewski.
Going to be on board with the Aston Martin.
Yeah. As Ian missed the timer, so he won't set a time.
Marvin Moore with a 40.3. The track is definitely drying, and so maybe some of the drivers
might
getting
be
the timing
last
better.
man to finish gets pole.
Jonathan
does a 40.6, so he goes another second faster. And slots into P2 behind
Tuca
Marvin.
with the fastest second sector.
Luke's had a major issue on his lap and lost his front wing, so he's not going to be improving, unfortunately.
No, but a top 10 qualifying start for him, especially with new wheel and whatnot. Do well if he gets it.
Depends on the guys behind.
Who is behind
George Parr just comes around that last corner on his way to the line. Gonna be a 41.9, so he puts in P5 for now.
Jumps in P5. Tuca just
Frederick Ellis. As now we've
turning
got
the last corner with Tuca and Nathan. Nathan did another push lap right in the slipstream all of a sudden. Let's see if Tuca can go faster. He puts in a 140.9, goes P4. Good lap from the Aston
Nathan
Martin.
does a 40.5, goes even faster.
So we
jumps back ahead of Jonathan Foss. Marek with a 40.7 behind them takes
Frederick
P4.
Ellis goes P6. I think
40.9 from Freddie.
That might be it for qualifying. So
yeah, and the 41.1 from Camel was invalidated. So we'll have to stick with that, even though I would say he was probably the fastest man in quali. He just couldn't hook that lap together right at the end when he had the chance. Yeah.
So,
which is where it mattered.
Just going through the top 10, we have Marvin Murr on pole position with a 140.3 in the intermediate conditions at the end. Nathan Powers P2. Jonathan Foss P4. Marek, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it, P5. Tuka with a P5. Frederick with a nice qualifying with P6. Strusic P7. The Haas, what was his name? Because I haven't managed.
George Parr.
George Parr with P8.
And Luke Mills get that P9.
P9, good quali from him. And for Drake rounding out the top 10. Very comfortable with his wet tyre run, obviously.
Yeah, and at the back, we've got Iron and Drake. Drake neglecting to set a time in qualifying, deciding that he wanted whether he just wanted the alternate strategy or wanted the challenge of last to first, which he's already done a couple of times.
I think last to first is going to be fun for him.
Yeah,
if he qualified, he just runs away, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, it also allows him as well. If the race is expected to be dry, it allows him to put a completely dry setup on that he's not compromised at all by the fact that he's got to run in wet quali.
True.
So it's not a terrible decision.
Yeah, race is
if you think
dry,
you can
that
do
is
it.
a very fair point.
Well, it's dry at the start. I'm looking at the pit lane, and it's sunny.
It is very sunny.
The issue we have with this, though, is with the track temperature and the air temperature, it might overheat the tires very quickly.
But that makes for fun racing. What do you mean? You don't want
stop? Let's go.
You don't want fun racing?
I mean, we tend to get fun racing in PC1, followed by 25 reports to the stewards.
The stewards get hassled.
And the thing I've just noticed, there are tires that I can see from that camera angle in the Mercedes garage, and they were softs, and now they're mediums. And yeah, Marek in P4 is starting on those soft tires. So there you go, that's a bit of a spoiler.
Okay, so Marek looking to probably just jump a few cars at the front, get a decent lead. Probably looking to pit at around lap 8 or 9. If he really wants to risk it, he can go to, but you can go to 11, but you are risking puncture.
They're going to be brand new softs, so 9 or 10 shouldn't be too much of a problem. Doing a soft medium one stop shouldn't be too hard. The undercut is very powerful here. You're just going to then have to defend from people at the end of the race and hold them off when they've got the softs. And he's got slowly, or round here, I suppose, quickly dying mediums.
Yeah.
But as for tyre choice for the grid, almost everyone, 16 of our drivers, have opted for those medium tyres for that alternate strategy.
The Ferrari and P11 on the hards.
Marek and Mateus from Mercedes have decided to go with the softs. I would have expected them to split strategies, so they're not sort of wanting to pit at the same time. Unless they've already worked it out between them.
I would have expected a lot of sort of like people to do like split strategies, but who knows? Like
Andrew in the Ferrari P11 on the hards. He's the only man on the hards, so he'll be looking to do like Cody did yesterday and go very long on that first stint and be very quick at the end with the softs and not have to worry about preserving them at all and can push flat out every lap.
Definitely. Quite a quick formation lap from the drivers this week. They have.
Marvin wasn't going to move on. Maybe
Marvin's like, let's go. If I'm seeing this,
going to wriggle on.
If I'm seeing this, I'm at the back like holding people up. I'm letting these people have cold tires. I don't care.
Yeah. Like Drake and Quill, not quite at turn 12 as of yet, and the AI has already taken over the guys at the front, rolling them down the pit straight.
The Williams of Bellini doing exactly what I would have done, being like, "Oh, they're bombing it round. I'm chilling. Like, I'm not bothered. My tires are going to be nice and toasty."
Sat about a week off the back of the pack. He's doing his best really Lewis Hamilton and Brazil impression.
He's just been really cheeky.
Everyone else is going to have freezing cold tires, which could make for an interesting turn 1 with no ABS for anybody on the grid and cold tires.
So we're just waiting for the drivers to line up. Adam, you don't really get the opportunity to, so would you like to take it away for the beginning?
Oh, I can do.
I'm not good play-by-play. Yeah, if you
red lights coming on, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are away in France. And Marvin gets a really bad start, a lot of wheel spin, and that's going to give Nathan the advantage. And we might have 3 off 4 wide at the end. Marek's almost pushed into the pit wall, but he's going to try and get down the outside of Marvin and Jonathan. Marvin manages to hold P2, and we've got some guys around at the back. And way off track, Ian Bilbas, as he's trying to avoid all of the commotion. And
There's like 4 or 5 wide going down this straight.
Oh, of course it is. And we've already got a DNF, Lucas Dirksen in the Haas. Unfortunately, DNFs before turn 1. And we've got yellow flags, but I'm not sure if we'll see a safety car, as Nathan has built a half-second gap at the front and leads them for the first time down the Mistral Straight. And we've got guys running very wide through Le Col at the back as well. So almost trying to go 3 wide through there and getting pushed off track. It's like a swarm down this straight.
Marek having a look at Jonathan Foss into this corner. Going around the outside of the chicane. Very nice move from the soft runner there. Needs to get a move on.
Yeah, he's up into P3, and he's going to be on the back of Marvin and Nathan now, and he's going to be looking to make the most of those soft tyres before they inevitably die in about 5 laps.
As he does go a bit wide.
Yeah, that yellow flag in Sector 1 has now been cleared, so we aren't going to have a safety car.
There's been a big
and we've got another guy out.
Shashevsky's
out of the race as well, yeah. And that's a VSC. I think there's been a collision between him, Quill Pavlakovic, and Luke Mills. Because Quill and Luke were both around and are now a long way off the back.
And the Haas of...
is
it Parr?
Yeah, George Pass spins it at turn 12, going through Bendor, unfortunately.
So Drake from P last is now P30.
From P last. And Mateus is in. Mateus Jelinek in the Mercedes. He's pitting from those soft tyres.
There's some damage on that Mercedes.
Yeah, there's no front wing,
Going hard till the end. Possible.
Good luck with that.
But possible. I'm sure, like, if he can keep his tyres in good nick, maybe there's another safety car he can get into this race with those hard tyres.
The game does say the predicted strategies for all of our guys started on the medium tyres is a 1-stop to hards around lap 12.
Marvin has retaken the lead from Nathan Powers. Marvin has retaken the lead.
Managed that.
And he's pulled an entire second gap out.
Yeah, Nathan got a really poor start off the end of the VSC, and Marvin's running away now. And Nathan's going to have to be careful because he's going to have Marek charging on those soft tyres behind him. Having sort of half a lap under VSC.
Another driver that's had a ridiculous start is the AlphaTauri of Iron Boyas, I believe his name is. Bilbas, sorry. You were P18, sir. What are you doing in P8?
Well, Martin Horrocks gone round at Mahanis, and coming out of the pits, Matej Jelinek had an issue at turn 1 and 2 through Le Verrier. And he's way off the back of the pack, but he has made that pit stop, so he's going to want to travel at a decent click with those hards as long as he possibly can. Maybe there'll actually be a safety car and he can get all that space back.
Indeed.
But Marvin still with that lead of a second and a half. Frederick Ellis in P6 gets our first 3-second time penalty of the race on lap 2. So he's beaten the record set by a PC3 of lap 3.
To be fair, France is a sod for penalties, to be fair. Like, sometimes you take the same line.
I never had a problem with it.
I didn't yesterday, but sometimes, like, you feel like you've taken the exact same line with the exact same curb taken, and sometimes the game is just like, nope, and you're like a pixel over.
And we've got side by side through turn 1 and 2 from Adugal and Teresa fighting for 9th place, with Drake making an opportunistic lunge of avoiding them mostly, but it's given him 2 places, and it gets him up into P9, so he's got that 2-second gap to gain up to Iron. These two have had some hefty fights through the season, most notably China.
Also, brilliant start from both of the drivers.
One of those.
Ian and Drake, respectively, P18, P19 on the grid, if my memory serves. Now into P8 and P9, both gained 10 positions. Fair play to them.
Marek's got Nathan's first time round with DRS. Nathan was too far back from Marvin, didn't have it to defend with. And Marek's made the move into Mahanis, and he's going to want to put those softs to use through Sector 3. And hopefully get up in Marvin's DRS and possibly drop Nathan out of his. As he's closed the gap, it's now under 1.1. He's just drifts under a second, going through De Bosso. And he's going to be wanting to keep it there to get this DRS down the main straight. And we've got another yellow flag behind. And that's Patrick Adugal has gone round at De Bosso. He's going to drop him all the way to 14th place. And he's probably going to be coming under attack here from Quill, as he's going to have hot tyres from that spin. So the front 11 have essentially built out a decent sort of gap now to the guys behind. Back down to Paolo Bellini.
Marek putting in the fastest lap of the race, to be expected. On those softs, they
softs.
won't drop
until
off
they die.
They're probably gonna die about. I would say because they're fresh, 2 laps. Lap 6 will probably be where they drop off.
The crossover between brand new softs and brand new mediums, where the mediums become faster, is around about lap 6, lap 7. So with that half a lap of a VSC, we might be looking at about lap 7 before they are slower than the mediums, but they're still manageable for another couple of laps after that.
And then they just
it's
become
the front tires,
a dog.
especially you need to look out for, because they just explode through sector 3.
Yeah, they really don't like it through there.
Yeah, Marek has managed to get up in the DRS range of Marvin, and
Marvin
everybody has DRS all the way back
there.
to P8.
Yeah, Marvin did use a bit of DRS there to keep him relatively at bay, to make sure he's not as close into Sector 3. Sector 3, a lot of sort of high-speed areas as well. Like, dirty air does kill your car coming through the sector.
A little bit.
Not high-speed, but like medium speed that requires a lot of downforce.
Yeah. The front 5 have started to pull a little bit of a gap. There's now a second back to Freddie Ellis in P6. He's just dipping under the cutoff for DRS. He'll be hoping he can keep it there and trying to go with these front guys, as there's about a second back to Camel right behind him as well. So it's possible this will be a front 5 or a front 6. It all depends on how much pace Freddie's got. These guys at the front, some of the usual suspects running at the front of the grid. We've got
Marvin Murr,
at the start of lap 5, Marvin Murr leads from half a second from soft runner in the Mercedes Marek Zanamorovsky. So he's going to be making the pit stop before most of these guys and hoping to maximize the undercut on those mediums, which should give him that race lead, because they should give him enough time to jump Marvin. But it's then going to be a case of if he can hold people off at the end of the race. Yeah,
with those soft
Nathan
tires.
Powers sitting in P3, hoping for some good points for Alpine. They've not had the best season as a constructor, which started with the pit crew deciding to give them wets twice in a fully dry USA Grand Prix.
Okay, Marek goes right on the back of Marvin, gets a bit squirrely, goes on the inside. Maybe there's a cutback for the medium run. A lovely move from Marvin Murr. Great defensive driving, but he's going to come back on the outside, coming back down of the second part of this straight. Sorry, I had to take a breath there. Marvin Murr behind. But now Nathan Powers getting involved, going on the inside. Maybe really, you really going to try and make a move there, man?
No, you had to back that out. If you're not completely alongside on entry into Seniors,
going on the inside of the idea. Oh Jesus, they're really getting a bit feisty now. Marek Marek now needs to go. Marek needs to go, but I think he's left it too long on these soft tires. This might be the time where he might start feeling those front tires start not gripping as much, as a bit of contact from Nathan and Marvin.
Contact between Nathan and Marvin.
Frederick Ellis, all the way back to Bill Bass, who I think Drake is really close to now. All catching up. A 9-car train, it might seem to be.
So the guys at the front are actually keeping a decent gap back to Drake. He was sort of 2.5-ish seconds behind when he made it up into P9, and it's still 1.9. So while Drake has managed to build a gap on the guys behind, he's not closing in on this front group.
I think maybe Drake is trying to keep the tires in a good nick as well.
Yeah, but he's also spent almost all his battery though. So Iron up in P8 has a 70% charge still, and this is a very difficult track to regain battery.
Very true.
It was for me at least. Whereas Drake's, well, he's derating down the Mistral straight. He's got basically nothing left in terms of charge.
Here comes the infamous F1. Oh, bit squirrely for Marek there, coming out of the chicane after the straight, giving Marvin Murr a great run on him. But I think he just had to back out ever so slightly because Marek did sort of like drift over the racing line and wasn't able to make a move.
Bit of wear coming into Marek's tires now, and they're not going to be the happiest. He needs to get them a bit further than this if he wants to go mediums to the end. Because the mediums aren't going to be looking happy about doing 20 laps, especially starting on very heavy fuel as they will be doing right now.
Unless he slams on the hards and
9 or 10 to get to the end on the mediums. I don't think he's going to want to go hards. They're okay, but they're not the best.
Nathan Powers definitely looking as the train of cars.
Yeah, Nathan looking very racy. I think the only reason
a move might be made from Jonathan Fast. Maybe maybe having a little look. No, maybe not.
Better of it. You
Apologies for interrupting there.
Through Sector 1. Yeah, you can't really build a gap through Sector 1, so not really worth the move there unless you are significantly faster. It's much better to make it down the Mistral Straight.
Just going back down the grid, the fight for P10, the last points paying position. Bellini is very low on ERS, and the Ferrari very, very much probably going to overtake him on the straight. Just going to be with this fight. Although I do think Marvin Murr might be having a look at the Mercedes of Marek on the outside before the chicane. Very nice move. Yeah, those softs are dying now.
Gets plenty in front before turning and manages to take that corner exactly how he wants. And we've got a yellow flag behind. And we've got George Parr in the wall out of the coal.
He's got no front wing on that
Haas. Keep it going, but he has no front wing. But he still has all his tyres, so it's not a done thing yet.
But Iron's going to look to make a move on the McLaren. Oh, he's spar! It's a bit too aggressive.
Oh,
it is a bit too aggressive. Well held, but a bit too aggressive. And he's brought Drake into contention. And those tyres are going to be a bit hotter than he wants them to be.
Yeah, he's not going to have DRS in order to defend from Drake. It's now going to give Drake DRS to get onto this front group that he's been looking to do for the last couple of laps.
It would also allow Drake to...
hot tyres, it's going to be difficult for Iron to get a solid exit.
Jonathan Foss looking for a move on the outside of Nathan Powers going into turn 1. No, maybe the setup differential there, because they're both on the same thing. He's moved out. Maybe the AlphaTauri using a bit more of a downforce reliant setup.
Yeah, I mean, they do both have DRS, so he does have that to defend with. But I think Jonathan's kind of happy to sit where he is. He's almost got a full battery, and he's not really losing anything behind these guys. They're not significantly slower than I think Jonathan wants to go, so it's probably a better idea just to sit here, save your battery, and then you can deploy it later. Although the Dirty Air's going to be overheating his tyres possibly, so maybe he's going to look at
a move from Nathan Powers being made on Marek going into the chicane. Bit of contact. Oh, it's a lot of contact. But Jonathan Foss may be looking to find a way past. It's probably a 3 wide situation on the second part of this straight, but they are on the outside going into the sweeping right-hander. Jonathan Foss makes the move. Is Tuka going to have a look now? Oh, he's going around the outside. Tuka's got a bit of a move on the inside. Oh, it's a very nice move. But they're still side by side. He's still looking to keep
Marek
his
holds
nose in.
the position just about.
Yeah, I think
very aggressive defending, but he left Tuka space on the outside all the time. And we've got another guy around at the back. And we've had contact, I think, between Tarasov and Bellini.
Bellini's out.
And Bellini's out, yeah.
Wonder if there is a retirement on track or whatnot, but I don't know.
His car's still rolling around, but I don't know if there was significant damage from the contact with Tarasov or not.
But the rule is you have to get back to the pit before you retire. So
the car is drivable.
Tuka's making a move
into chicane.
Very nice move from the Aston Martin.
Inside, but that's going to possibly give Marek a better exit through Le Col and onto the Mistral Straight. But Tuka's still going to be close enough to the guys in front to also get DRS to defend with. Marek's sliding backwards a bit here. He just needs to take these softs as far as he can to get a set of mediums to the end of the race.
Frederick Ellis has managed to get onto the back of this train, but again, the DRS is the Mercedes once again having to defend.
Closing in the Jaws theme song
Drake's taken Iron.
Yeah, he's taken Iron. We got him with the DRS quite easily.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Turn 1, and he's on the back now of this front group.
Honestly,
Marek again sliding backwards. He's now lost a place to Camels Thrusik as well.
If I'm Marek
Freddie Ellis is going to try it around the outside, possibly in Debusso.
If I'm Marek here, I'm not looking to fight people. I think
he has to pit this lap. He's just losing too much time at this point. I think he has to pit this lap and hope he can get those mediums to the end from here.
18 laps on the mediums, very possible, especially with blower fuel.
And I took them. So he's going to do at least one more.
I took them 17 laps yesterday with starting on them, so very possible to do it, in my opinion.
But he's going to carry on, but he does have DRS to defend from Freddie and Drake behind. But Drake's going to probably just slot in there and be happy to stick.
Oh, that's a fantastic move from the Ferrari.
Wow, yeah.
He's actually gone right round
it through the middle of Debusso.
But the Mercedes making another move back. Oh, it's a very squirrely, a bit of contact made. Drake makes a fantastic poacher's move, so to speak. He's going to try and keep it. Going gonna be able to probably overtake Frederick on the straight as he is behind for the DRS.
Better exit, and he's already
made it. He's already made it, and he's got the DRS. So Frederick probably just gonna look to stick with him without the DRS. But Marek,
he's gonna have to defend from Marek.
Move. Yeah, Frederick just probably gonna let him by.
Inside. Yeah. Oh, but he sticks his nose in through the middle of the Mahana chicane, and he's gonna be possibly looking to make the move. He doesn't want to get held up through sector 3 from Marek's very dead tires.
Exactly. The top 5.
Lose him time to the guys in front, unfortunately.
So the top 5 are
very close together.
Strusic, kind of dropping off them a little bit, but might be but again might be a setup thing. Might
yeah.
Have less,
the top 5 are covered by a second and a half.
A second and a half. Drake really wants to get on the back of these guys, but without a lot of ERS. Gonna be trouble.
Doesn't have the ERS, doesn't have DRS, so it's gonna be tricky for him to close up. These guys are gonna gain a lot of time down the 2 main straights of the track. He's currently a couple seconds back, so he needs to find a second somewhere. And without the ERS to basically bridge that gap for him, he's gonna have to do it on.
Frederick Ellis making a move back on Marek. Marek not pitting from these softs. Like, I think this is a mistake from him.
So much time. Yeah. Unless he's not confident in the mediums in terms of how far he can get them, and doesn't want to be a sitting duck at the end of the race.
You're risking puncture, surely.
Oh, absolutely. But he's currently 5.6 seconds off the leader. He can undercut that in probably 3 laps, and I don't imagine many people are going to be in before lap 14. So it would probably still give him that lead.
Nathan Powers making a move for the lead of this race on Marvin Murr. Marvin Murr trying to keep it on the inside, but there's just not enough room.
Fully sideways from Marvin. There's a little bit of contact in the middle apex.
And that is compromising
up to Jonathan Foss behind.
Yeah, compromising his exit, going side by side into the sweeping right-hander. You can definitely make the move now if you do so wish.
He's going to fight this, but Jonathan,
are they going to go side by side into this corner? Is he going to try and keep it on the outside? Nice racing. Jonathan Foss going wide. And Tuka coming in with the puncher's move. Lovely move from the Aston Martin there. Shades of PCT from last season when he used to do that consistently.
This is exactly what Nathan wants, though. All the guys behind fighting allows him just to stretch that lead a little bit, but he hasn't managed to get out of the DRS range. So Tuka's going to get this toe down the main straight and bring everybody behind him with him. And guess who's appeared on the back of the group as Marek finally pits?
Marek is finally picked,
so
and Drake
making his 1 pit stop.
As
for
Drake
the medium
Dempsey has
tires to go
appeared
to the
on
end.
the back of the group.
And Drake has appeared. As we knew he would eventually.
Yeah.
Probably took a little longer than I was expecting, but he's appeared.
But he has decided to say hello. as the front 5 are like, it's like Jaws, isn't it? Like, he's inevitable.
Yeah,
it's
the Jaws theme song is definitely playing down Camille's radio, which is why he's just got a 3-second time penalty for track limits.
Yeah, it's what's it? The team principal for McLaren, I can't remember his name. He's just like, dude, guess
Zach
what?
Brown.
Zach Brown, he's like, on the radio.
In an American accent, probably lives next door to Drake as well. So
yeah.
Through the walls.
Yeah. As Jonathan Foss gets a 3
time penalty now for Jonathan Foss as well.
Getting
this
the penalties
is
through
playing into the
now.
hands of Nathan, Tuka, Marvin, and Drake. Guys at the front without penalties. It's a difficult track to really pull gaps on people, so it's going to give them a big advantage come the end of the race, even if they just sort of hang around in this fight with them.
Oh, yeah.
As long as they get a penalty themselves. And I mean, we know the likelihood that Drake and Tukabot get penalties is pretty slim. But it's whether Marvin and Nathan can hold them to that standard as well and not get any penalties themselves. As this front 6 all sliding around together, just 2.2 seconds separates all of them.
Yeah, yesterday when
between a win and like 8 points, 6 points that you get for 6th is a penalty. It's pretty crazy.
I will say, when I was doing my start on the mediums yesterday, around lap 13 is where I felt them start leaving me. So expect to see these drivers struggling a bit more on these medium tyres.
Martin Horak is already in off his medium tyres. He's deciding to make the jump early, go onto the hards.
Okay.
They will get him to to the end, or should do.
Marek has gone onto the mediums. He's got to do another.
Unless he's a psychopath.
Yeah, and decides to do 2 soft runs.
With tyre wear. As Quill's left the session. So that is a disconnect. I'll just re-invite him quickly.
By all means, as Just watching the top 6 go round. The the train of quite fast drivers is happening.
Well, trains tend to be quite fast.
Well, very true. This one very much of the bullet variety.
Is that because there's an American? Is that an anti-American?
No, not because there's an American. It'd be worse if there was a Russian involved. Anyway,
you can actually see just as since you've mentioned it, I'm allowed. A lot of our drivers that you might have noticed are running
sort of blue and yellow helmets
because of
the obvious situation.
Giving no
in
opinions
the world.
because of what is currently happening in Eastern Europe, in Ukraine,
in the world. But as I do want to say very quickly, my hopes and prayers. I'm not a religious man to those affected, obviously, but back to the racing at hand.
It's not good, but we continue in France.
In France.
As our the small thing that we can do as Ero, we have actually removed Sochi from the calendar for this season.
Replaced with Bahrain, I believe.
We replaced with Bahrain, indeed.
Bahrain.
That's how you spell it. B-A cough.
B-A.
B.A. had too many beers last night. Yeah.
B.A. too many beers and smoked for the first time in 2 years last night.
Yeah. As Quill's pit, so he's come out on the hard, so he'll be going to the end as well. So some of these guys at the back will be looking to go to the end, hopefully jump the guys in front that are still on their starting tyres. That's what I was going to do before Quill DC'd and I had to invite him.
Alright.
Mark's last lap was a 32.8 on those medium tyres, his first flying lap on the medium tyres. Nathan at the front did a 33.8, so currently a second a lap faster. Hoping to make back some of the time he lost with those soft tyres at the end of the race. And profit at the end. We saw in PC2 last year multiple strategies all converging on the last lap.
Oh yeah,
and ended with an epic 4 or 5-way fight for the win. So we might be seeing the same thing with this front train essentially meeting Marek on the final lap.
I definitely hope
That'll be good.
Roger Ellis with another 3 seconds.
Be good.
I think that equals that to 6.
Fight. Yeah, so and that's Iron. So
6.
Iron, Freddy, and Martin all currently have 6 seconds of penalties. And Marek, Kamil, Strusik, and Jonathan Foss all currently have 3 seconds.
Oh, bloody
great
timing board bug.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the intervals have gone for me. But Tuka having a bit of a look at Nathan. Thought better of it, but Tuka obviously...
I think there's going to be that little bit of happy to sit, recoup some ERS. He's currently set up at 80%, whereas Nathan's kind of having to spend it as the man in this train without DRS.
Yeah, as Tuka maybe... No, very... There's a 1:14.6.
Quill sets an impossible fastest lap, so look, welcome to Game Bugs.
Welcome
but
to a game bug.
I think.
That's questionable, but...
So what you were saying about No Rules France?
No Rules France, yep, he's already on it, love it.
As Martin Horrock makes a move on Luke Mills down the missile straight for 13th place. Luke's still on his medium tyres as Drake's in.
Drake has decided now is the time.
Drake make the jump. There's no way he's going on softs from here, right?
No, that is a set of hards.
That's hards. That's a strange strategy.
Giving himself a challenge,
give him the undercut. Yeah, it's gonna give him the undercut, so he'll take net lead as long as he gets out ahead of Marek. And as Marek's just coming into DuPont now, I think he probably just about will. Well, it's probably going to be quite close. It's a very slow pit lane here.
Have a look at Marek coming
now
out
getting
with
back
Drake.
Up to speed as here comes Marek.
Drake's miles in front.
Yeah, unfortunately, for 1.3 seconds, he's managed to keep a lead there. I was hoping for a copy of this year's real French Grand Prix, but
hang on a minute. Tuka has now taken the lead from Nathan Powers.
Tuka's decided that's it. He's dropped down to 60% of his battery. I think he's spending, so this might be Tuka's in-lap.
This might be his in-lap. He wants to get out of the way of Nathan Powers, be the one leading them into the pits if they all decide to.
Yeah, he doesn't want to lose time to Drake on those hard tyres. And
I think
it's possible Tuka's thinking he can get softs to the end.
I think this is
will
very
give
clever from
him a
Tuka
pace
making the move
advantage.
now. I think making
Yeah.
the move now, if he is planning on pitting this lap, very, very good. Giving himself those 6/10ths. So like even if there is shenanigans in the pit lane.
Yeah, Burns ERS, which he is going to get back. We do run the esports pit rules, so we do have ghosting in the pit lane.
Is he going? He is going into the pits.
Up by each other. Tuka's in, and he's getting followed.
Everyone
Nathan's
but Jonathan.
Well.
I think everyone but Jonathan and is it Stushik is into
Camel
the pit
Stusik.
lane.
Yeah, so Tuka pits, Nathan pits, Marvin pits, Freddie pits, and Aryan. So that might be why Jonathan carried on. Didn't want to hold Aryan up
onto
the
soft tires. Let's see
Tuka
where
and Nathan on soft tires.
Drake and Marek. These are the two that we need to look out for. They're coming around the last corner now.
Drake just coming through DuPont now. It's a good line through there. It's a lot of power down, and he's not quite gotten to the back of Patrick to get the DRS. So he's not going to get this pace advantage down here, but he is going to take that lead, I think.
Oh, no, he's going to be right next to the AlphaTauri. Oh. But he does jump Marvin.
Quite get Nathan.
But he does jump Marvin.
Yeah, so he's jumped Marvin, but he's still got Nathan and Tuka in front of him, and they're on soft tires.
Hang
Drake
on.
needs to make this move now.
Why is Marvin on mediums?
Ooh.
Mistake?
That's an error from AlphaTauri. Yeah, he was already on medium tires, so Marvin's going to have to stop again. That's his race essentially ruined, unless there's a safety car.
Drake Dempsey having to fight through Padraig and whatnot is going to slow him down a little bit. Let's go back to the top of the group, top of it, where Tuka has overtaken the hard runner of
Andrew Tarasov. Yeah, who's still on those hards that he was on at the start of the race. He will have been hoping for a safety car the moment those guys pit, but he's not got it so far.
Tuka is now net P1.
Yep.
I will say
18.3 seconds behind Camille, just less than 20 seconds behind Jonathan. And it's more than 20 seconds as the front two are in.
The front two
Jonathan
are
and
in.
Camille are both in. And we'll be going on to softs. There'll be a lap fresher, which around here is about 40%.
Yeah.
And we've got a Mercedes round.
It's about 100% of your tyre wear. That's about one lap fresher.
Yeah, just about, yeah.
So let's just keep
an
eye
it's like ultra
on
softs
the...
at Spa.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Let's keep an eye on Jonathan Foss coming back out. Let's see if he's going to be able to do jump. No, Tuka's already made it past. Let's have a look. Let's have a look back at Drake Dempsey.
Lead of the race.
Have a look at Drake Dempsey. He's still behind Marvin Murr. Marvin Murr holding up Drake Dempsey, even though I think there's a bit of pit lane error for the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah,
obviously
that's given Jonathan net P3 as well. He's ahead of Drake, and Camille's just about a second behind. So if Marvin can hold Drake here through the DRS range, through the DRS zone, up the Mistral Straight, Camel's going to be right on him. He's already closed up to 6/10. Those soft tires putting him work.
I think maybe the PC2 guys firing their pit crew last season in Japan have maybe come to bite Marvin Murr in the ass here.
I think he needs to fight them. I think he needs to fight them. Fire them. Yeah, Tuka now leads by 1.7 seconds, so that deployment of ERS has given him a big edge that he did on his in-lap, because it allowed him to jump the traffic.
And
he didn't get caught up behind everyone in Sector 3 as what happened to Nathan.
And we all know from last season, Belgium, I believe it was, Tuka is a god at tyre management. Absolute animal at tyre management.
If we're talking about last season in PC2, I still think we just need to talk about Australia. That's all it is, right? As Nathan gets a 3-second time penalty, so that means the fight between Nathan and Jonathan for P2 is now for overall position. Jonathan doesn't have that penalty holding him back, and he's within 4/10. And another yellow flag. We've got Martin Horak around in the second Aston Martin.
Overtaking the Ferrari, who now is very sad about Drake Dempsey being behind him. But Shoestick going to try and make a move on Drake Dempsey, maybe into the corner. Nice. He keeps the inside, going around the outside. This is a nice move from the McLaren on Drake Dempsey. Has he made it yet? No, they are going side by side. Lovely driving from the two drivers. And tiny bit of contact maybe, but the McLaren has made it. And he now has a DRS to take the Ferrari. Drake Dempsey a bit up, maybe a bit unhappy at the fact that he's been overtaken like that.
Well, I mean, it was all kind of fair. He left him space. He didn't force Drake off the track. I think Drake might just be regretting these hard tyres.
Yeah, maybe
I'm not really sure what the
one lap early, maybe
thought
biting
process
him in the ass.
Yeah, I know Owen won by a lot yesterday in PC2, and as a result, is probably going to get promoted. But we're already in PC1. Drake can't get promoted for winning too many races. So I'm not really sure why he's put the hards on.
Jonathan Foss has made the move on Nathan
battery,
Powers.
by the way.
He has made the move on Nathan Powers.
So that is totally fourth position.
As it
he's going to be coming up
stands,
on the back of two. That's a great exit through turn 12. He's closed over half a second on Tuka.
Oh god, wait, maybe there's a
exit
mistake. Maybe there was a mistake made by Tuka. So this fight for the front, this fight for P1 on track at the moment because obviously penalties involved. Jonathan Foss might be looking to make a move very quick down the straight, going on the inside of turn 1. Made the move already before the corner. Tuka doesn't really have to fight
bridge this gap. He's got to build a 3-second gap.
And
Tuka Bot doesn't get penalties.
Tuka Bot does not get penalties.
Have to bridge a 3-second gap here, and Tuka just needs to keep it clean and on the black stuff for the next 7 laps, and he'll win the race on those penalties. But everyone wants to win on track. So I understand Jonathan going for the move, absolutely. He also wants to make sure he's got that gap back to Nathan.
Well, he's got 7 laps to do it, and he's already pulled a bit of a gap. Tuka is slowing a little bit, it seems.
But as long as Tuka stays in the DRS, I think he just wants to make sure that his tyres are fine.
Yeah.
But as long as Tuka stays in the DRS, then there's not really a right lot Jonathan can do. I mean, Tuka gained 3/10 down that straight.
Yeah.
And while Jonathan's probably going to get a pretty decent exit here, Tuka's also got
Drake with a 3-second!
Drake, what?
What?
What is happening? Is Drake like his cat play?
Is his dad playing instead? Like, what's going on here?
No, I think instead of Drake driving, I think we've got Simon Weigang because obviously he's a lot slower.
Oh yeah.
As Drake gets that 3-second time penalty, so that means that he's not even really going to jump these guys above him. He's going to have to do this on the track. And while these guys' soft tires might die off at the end in the last couple of laps, they should be able to bridge a significant enough gap.
But they're already bridged the gap to Stucik.
Yeah, like Drake's already, what, 6 seconds off the lead?
Yeah, this is looking to be a PC F1 race where the obvious doesn't win.
It's Hungary from PC2 last year.
Let's go! I remember that race vividly. Bloody Haas.
Yeah, you remember Dragos' rear wing.
Yeah, and then I remembered Greg's rear wing, and then I remembered winning the race. So,
Jonathan Foss. So yeah, Tuka's kept the gap at around about half a second.
Yeah,
and he still has about 50% of his battery, whereas Jonathan's under 20% now.
Yeah, he's definitely in the ascendancy.
Probably just going to chill a bit, sit in the DRS. It's possible Tuka's running more downforce, so wanted to have the DRS, so he didn't really have to deal with all that.
I think he would be. I remember from last season.
Essentially monstered down every straight.
I remember from last season.
So we'll be happy just to sit there.
I remember from last season he was like a lot slower than like the guys that I was fighting him with last season on the straight. But during the corners he was an absolute monster. So he probably is running a higher downforce setup. Just want to stick in that DRS with Jonathan. Jonathan, I do believe, likes to run lower downforce setups anyway.
He's in my gang.
Yeah, I mean, I've started to join that gang. I like them, but then I mess around with like the suspension and whatnot to find the pace in corners. So starting to learn a lot more about that. But back to PC F1, the front 3, just kind of leaving Strusiek, who gets a bit wiggly on the exit of that corner, as Drake Dempsey might be looking to make a move on Marvin.
Still Marvin though, holding off Drake. I mean, Drake runs high downforce at pretty much every track.
Well, Marvin needs to make another pit stop.
DRS. Yeah, even with the DRS, he's not really gaining on Marvin down the straight. But yeah, Marvin will have to make another pit stop. He'll get yelled at by Jeff at the end of lap 25.
At
so
this stage,
have to pit.
Yeah, you pit there, you go soft, you go for fastest lap.
3 seconds. Yeah. Strusik gets another 3-second time penalty. And Mercedes, unfortunately, with their different strategy, it's not really come off for them. Marek's currently floundering down in 9th place, full 7 seconds behind Arjen in front of him.
And
Arjen, on the soft tyres, pit and put softs on, whereas Frederick put mediums on. And he was already on mediums as well, so that's another mistake that's been made in the pits.
Mistake by the game? As he does go past.
Makes the place for P7, yeah. But Frederick and Marvin are both going to have to pit, so that's effectively P6 for Arjen.
With another 3 second.
That's 9 now. So if Marek can close up, there's about 1.8 seconds that he needs to close up to be technically ahead of Arjen. So, I mean, it's possible, but he is on older medium tyres, whereas Arjen's going to be getting the best out of those softs for another couple of laps at least.
As
And Drake has managed to make the move on Marvin eventually. But he's
Finally.
now 1.4 seconds behind Camille on those soft tyres. So let's see if this front four can put some distance between themselves and Drake before their tyres really go off in probably 2 or 3 laps. Imagine if Drake still wins this. That would be ridiculous.
Wow. If he does, then I'm gonna.
Then can we please have PC0 just for Drake?
Yeah, just so he can just drive by himself. Like that'd be ridiculous.
But Tuka's still keeping it clean. Still not got any penalties. Still sat in P2. Still sat in the DRS range of Jonathan. Jonathan's not been able to build a gap after he made the move for the lead of the race.
It's Tukabot all over again. It's Tukabot.
Yeah, he's chill. I mean, he's finished, and it's probably snowing, so chilling makes sense.
He's probably in a sauna.
But Tuka has to play defensively here. He got a warning on lap 11 and another on lap 18, so he doesn't have any warnings to play with.
That's probably why he's trying to stay in Jonathan Foster's thing. He doesn't want to make too many risky moves. I've seen a few of his lines have been very careful through some of these corners, very deliberate not to go over too much curb or something. Look at that. Beforehand.
You see a lot of...
oh, go on. Sorry, I do apologize.
Yeah, a lot of people on the entry to Debussot do cut a lot of that inside curb, but I've found out myself in time trial that it can invalidate your lap if you go slightly too tight. So Tuka just completely avoids that curb. He's not even risking it.
No, there was a moment as the double apex right-hander. See, he's dropping off a bit, but again, he's just keeping it calm, keeping it safe. If he can keep it there for another 4 laps.
Yeah, it's just as long as he sticks within the DRS, he's not going to be at risk from Nathan. And I mean, even if he drops out of DRS and Nathan overtakes him, he can then sit in Nathan's DRS and hopefully stay within that 3-second window of Jonathan and Nathan.
Definitely,
So it's looking good for Tuka so far, as long as he doesn't get another warning. Yeah, he's even being gentle with track limits through chicane, which is
one that a lot of people abuse. Yeah.
Yeah, lob it in and hope. He's just keeping it smooth and keeping it cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, just making sure that at least 2 of those tires are always on the black stuff, and that's kind of how you have to drive this track. He is gaining a lot on Jonathan, but he's just not going to make the move. He's going to brake early. See, look at that. Doesn't take a lot of that curb, where you'll see a lot of drivers.
Got in the DRS range of Camille for P4, and he's brought Marvin with him.
Okay,
but Marvin is going to have to pit for softs at some point.
Such a weird part of this game. As Nathan Powers very close to Tuka all of a sudden.
He's been sort of chilling there for a few laps, so I think now he just wants to get a move on. Maybe Jonathan's slowing down a little bit at the front, and Nathan thinks if he can get past Tuka, he can overtake Jonathan, because that is going to be for position.
That will be for position.
Tuka's kind of gone, unless he gets a penalty.
Ignoring these curbs, Tuka is There's a few curves, obviously, that you have to hit because of the...
Very close on the exit of DuPont to getting a warning, though. His inside tyres were on the white line. If he'd got a slight kick of oversteer, that could have been a warning.
It could have been done.
Nathan's almost pushing him through Laverdier.
See, look at that, not touching these curbs at all. I can see why he obviously doesn't want to get these penalties. And maybe these soft tyres, 8 laps old... Yeah, the fuel load is lower, but the front tires around this track just die. They're even with lower fuels.
They absolutely melt through sector 3. There's so many sort of long, fast corners, which is exactly what the tires don't want to do, and you're making them do it 27 times.
You can tell Tuka is getting a lot slower. Just try to keep it on the track, and fair enough.
Makes a move for P4. So the hard tyres might be coming back to him a little bit, but he's got a 2-second window to gain up on these front guys. And I don't think they're going to be that slow comparatively. Yes, of course, once he catches, he's got to overtake. With a car that's not the quickest in a straight line and no ERS to help. These guys that don't need to not fight too much, not lose too much time, otherwise they might get eaten by a Red Bull. Which nobody wants to see.
Yeah, no one wants to see Red Bull eating. I don't mind the drink, but
yeah. You see, the thing is, if the Red Bull eats, it'll be too fat for its new side pods.
Very true, very true. That's such an interesting design for the Red Bull. I like the fact that they've gone a bit loopy with it.
It's definitely different, and I mean, whether it's faster or not, nobody knows.
Well,
we're not aerodynamicists. We have no idea how it's going to affect the airflow of the car with the ground effect and everything else. But I have to say, the side pods for me look too small. Like, cooling might be an issue at some of the hotter races.
True,
And,
but then
we've unfortunately got Luke around at Mahannes.
That's unfortunate for the Alpine. We are on the penultimate lap of this French Grand Prix. Thank you, game, for giving me the aerial part of the camera. Lovely.
Yeah. I wish we need to have that.
We need more ways to change the camera, so I can change it to like the aerial view. But Tuka's looking for a move. Tuka's looking for a move on Jonathan Voss.
Tuka's bored of sitting in second place. He wants this win on track.
He wants the win on track. Maybe Jonathan had a bit of a bad line through the sort of like long sweeping right-hander to the left before the last straight.
Tuka has so much ERS though. You can effectively just sit on the button for the last lap. As we've got Quill and Matthias Jelinek are both in the pits, so they'll be getting brand new soft tyres to go for that fastest lap.
Yeah, let's see if the two medium runners are.
Yeah, Marvin and Freddie are going to be getting yelled at by Jeff at this point, and so they're both going to have to pit to put soft tyres on, or hards, I suppose, because they've only ran mediums so far.
Right.
As Tuka comes up to DuPont to begin the final
lap of this race, as Drake Dempsey has managed to
on the back.
Get to the back of these drivers. Okay, start of the last lap of this race.
Marvin pits.
Marvin's in,
so does Freddie. So they're not going to get disqualified, but they're going to have and they're not going to have a chance to go for fastest lap either.
And the thing is, at this stage, I think the hards might actually be faster than the softs because of how much the tire degradation.
Softs at this point are the softs at this point are off a cliff. I thought these guys might be able to build a slightly bigger gap to Drake and not really come under attack. But Nathan's going to have to defend for his life here. He's going to have the DRS. They are equal on ERS. So maybe this is going to be it's going to be done on slipstream. Drake is basically pushing him down this straight, but now he's lost all slipstream, and I think maybe Nathan Powers has it coming into the corner side by side a little bit, going around the outs, going for a little switch back. Nathan parks on the apex, and Drake
gets another 3-second penalty. Who is this? This isn't Drake.
Nathan's had to go off track. Nathan's had to go off track because there was a little bit of contact in there.
Is he going to try and make the move down on the inside? It's still side by side.
6 seconds of penalties, it's not going to matter. As Tuka leads Jonathan by about 3/10, plus that penalty difference. And these two at the front, Nathan's done a really good job for them and given them a 1.5 second cushion back to Drake. There's almost contact through turn 12, and both of them almost go around, Drake and Nathan. Both managed to keep pointing the right way as Camel's
running the penultimate corner, coming round for the final corner. The Aston Martin keeping his
first win in PC1, last season's PC2 champion.
Congratulations to Tuka Rakola. Tuka Bot returning for France. Second.
Drake crosses the line in third. Drops to 4th place on penalties, meaning Nathan gets Alpine's first podium of the season. Kamil Strusik finishes 5th for McLaren, with Ian Bilbas coming home in 6th place with the second AlphaTauri. So great constructors points for AlphaTauri again.
Marvin's
still going to hold on for 7th place.
Marvin's still got P8.
Pushing him over the line.
Goes for P6 because of Ian.
Both Ian and Marek on penalties, though, so he can just get P6. Andrew Tarazov, reserve driver for Ferrari, replacing Jacob Mickelson this week, is going to take P9 and get a couple of points for them. As Patrick takes the final points-paying position for Williams. Freddie, after his strategic faux pas, takes P11, so unfortunately no points for the Ferrari driver.
Matthias Jelinek, I think, is going for a fastest lap.
Can get fastest lap, yeah. He pit.
Well, obviously the fastest lap is like a 1:14, but that will be changed.
Yeah, I think we'll take a
1:30 flat. So we will check the fastest lap.
Yeah.
Here, so the fastest lap that will be the fastest lap of the race for Matthias Jelinek.
Yes. We just need, all we would need to corroborate that would be a picture of Quill's race director to make sure he doesn't have a lap faster than a 30.0. Because I see Quill's gone for the fastest lap as well on the last lap.
That is very fair.
It didn't show me what he got. So if we get a picture of Quill's race director, see what he got, because obviously that 114's total bollocks.
Bogus.
It was when he rejoined after being disconnected.
Driver of the day would be Drake Dempsey. Reasonable.
Not a win.
Not a win. Doesn't even get on the podium.
Oh, I feel all faint.
As we see our podium of Tuka Rakola, Jonathan Voss, and Nathan Powers. Very well driven by those three.
Ugh. I don't know if it's because Drake didn't get on the podium or just the track, but I feel like I need to go surrender to someone.
Probably the track. wave a white flag somewhere. Yeah, good race from the guys there.
Oh wow! Apparently, as well, at the end of that, Jonathan's headset died on lap 23, so he had to do the last like 5 laps with no sound.
Oh god, it's going to go through the race
traction
director.
Control. Oof.
Going through the race director.
By all means.
As
I'll take a look at Quill's laps.
There we go. Yeah, do that.
One.
So P1 Tuka Rakola, first win for PC F1, our PC2 champion from last season. Man, I hated being behind him all that time. Jonathan Foss, P2, fantastic drive for him, and Alpha Tauri. And then running out the podium is Nathan Powers in P3. Drake Dempsey goes P4. A bit of an unexpected one there, but great racing from...
Kamil Stadusic, P5, Marvin Murr, P6, Ian Bilbas, P7 after penalties.
P8, Marek Zhivanowski, whatever his name is.
Namarovsky.
P9, the reserve Ferrari, and running out the final points-paying position is Pedrego Dugal, for P10. Well,
yes, so Quill's final lap was a 30.5,
so it would
that
go to
fastest lap point
Mateus
will go
Jelinek.
to Mateus.
So
with a 30.0.
The lobby is bugged, so we are gonna. I can't leave.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I can't leave, so I'm gonna have to like close the game.
Alt F4.
Alt F4 the game, but it's been wonderful commentating PCF F1 alongside yourself, Adam.
Thank you. That was
a good race.
Wow. Apparently Drake on the last lap got 2 warnings in 2 corners. He's channeling me.
He's channeling everyone.
And he may have also forgot a setup.
Oh, okay.
I think he forgot his setup.
Well, forgetting his setup, going P4, still ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, P19 to P4, no setup. Yeah, because he didn't drive in qualifying, so I wonder if it just didn't save the setup on his car. Just retired straight away, and then he obviously maybe didn't check it or didn't check it in time.
Definitely.
For the race on the grid.
So I do
for him to put it on.
Still
P4 from P19 with no setup's pretty nuts.
I'm not gonna lie, I need to like learn what sponsors there are for ERO. Do you know them?
Grid Finder, Race Insight, Bowlerdomania, Discord, and JR Designs.
Thank you
Boom.
to those
from memory.
From memory. Thank you to those for sponsoring ERO. That is not all at ERO for today, though. Next, afterwards, we have PlayStation F2, and then
F1.
F1. Sorry, I'm so used to doing.
F2 was yesterday.
I'm so used to doing the other one, which is probably the. I mean, considering ERO was PlayStation originally, probably the more premium league. No offense to the people in PC. It is. Let's be fair. There's more leagues of it, you know. But yeah, that'll be all, it for us at PCF2. Ryan, that has been Adam, and we'll catch you next week.
I mean, you said that was been Adam. Like, I'm still Adam. I'm just not here anymore.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you next week as I punt Adam off